What is the best time to tell a date you are trans? Yo, I know it might be windy out here today. You might hear a lot of wind blowing, but get what? Get what? It's smooth. I wanted to do a Q&A real quick. Basically for my vlog channel, for my main channel, I want to do a Q&A. I should have brought my mic with me, but bear with me if the quality is terrible. Make sure you follow me on all my socials. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Kick, Twitch, Instance. That's Instagram Instance. They just came out with a new app. Make sure you follow me on all platforms. Please follow me on all platforms, y'all. I want you guys to get to know me. I want you guys to get to know me as a trans man. I am representing the LGBTQ community. But y'all, I'm very much, you know, I'm not ashamed of my journey. I'm not ashamed of my identity. I'm not ashamed of none of that, you know. And I've been transitioning ever since I was, I want to say 17. Nobody in high school knew I was transitioning though. So I waited like my sophomore year. First question, when did you first realize you were a man? This is kind of a hard question to answer because, bruh, it's like I didn't realize I was a man because I was still young, you know what I mean? Like, I just realized something was different. I didn't want to hang out with the girls. I didn't want to play with Barbies. I didn't want to paint nails. I didn't want to do none of that stuff like that. It just wasn't me. And when I was younger, I'll say probably in like kindergarten, my cousin moved into a 2-family flat with us. Okay, so we was living there first and my cousins moved in there with us. And so that had happened, and I just used to wrestle with them a lot. Like, we used to wrestle, we used to get pillows, wrestle the pillows, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's when I first realized that I was just different, bro. I was just different. I realized this when I was in kindergarten, bro. I don't know, I was different. Next it says, what was the hardest part about coming out? To be honest, the hardest part about coming out was just telling my girlfriend. Like, I was in a I guess lesbian relationship. It's so odd to say that. I was in a lesbian relationship, and you know, one day it just hit me. Everything just hit me like, nigga, boom. And so the hardest part was just trying to get my girlfriend to understand. My girlfriend at the time to understand. That was the hardest part for me. How did your friends and family react? To be honest, I really didn't care. I didn't care how they would react. For, like, to be honest, it was a me thing. It was like, you're gonna accept me or you're not. Like, I'm not gonna have you in my life type stuff. So I wasn't looking for a reaction. I wasn't caring about nobody's reaction. So since I wasn't looking for a reaction, I don't think I got one. People just went along with what I was, you know, doing. Like, they went along with my journey. They went along with my transition because of how serious I took my transition and how serious that I was taking my transition. You know what I mean? So I just set the tone and people followed suit. Now, if I was insecure in my transition or I was unsure about my transition, then I'm pretty sure I would have got a crazy reaction, or, you know what I'm saying? But people was like, okay, well, you confident in what you're doing? All right, bet. You know, I got a lot of support. Nobody was acting crazy. Nobody was saying anything crazy. I did get a lot of support. So I'm very lucky. You know, not a lot of people get a lot of support. So I was very lucky to be in my predicament, and very lucky and very blessed to have the type of family that I have, you know? What is your favorite thing about being a man? Ooh. My favorite thing about being a man is, like, it's not it's much more respect. You know what I mean? It's very much respect from other men. It's just like, what up, bro? Like, what's good? How you doing? Like, you all right? It's very much respect. When I was a stud, before I transitioned, right, it was no respect. It was just like, I don't know, it was weird. It was kind of weird. So I would say the respect part, coming from all genders and coming from just everybody, just it's much more respect. All right, these are medical transition questions now. I was going into my icebreakers. I'm done with my icebreakers. Let's go into the medical transition questions. What changes from testosterone surprise you the most? So I can't lie, I would say my voice. My voice and my bottom growth surprised me the most. I didn't think my voice would get this deep, and I didn't think my bottom growth would be as big as it is. Like, when I tell you, literally, look. Boo. But no, y'all, no. All jokes aside, it's my voice and my bottom growth. How long did it take for your voice to drop? I would say it took me like 7 or 8 months. Probably like 9 months. It took my voice like 9 months to drop. Previously, like, I was thinking my voice was getting deeper, like the first, second, third, fourth month. I was thinking my voice was getting deeper, but it was not. I was sounding straight up like a, you know what I'm saying? I was just sounding crazy. How do you deal with regular hormone injections? All right, so how I deal with regular hormone injections is like, at first I was scared to inject myself. I used to go up to the doctor and have the doctor inject for me every week. But I don't know, I got kind of used to it. You know, you get used to it over time. I bet like your first couple of times is gonna be hard. It's gonna be like crazy because you're sticking a whole needle in your leg or in your butt or in your arm or wherever you stick it at. You're sticking a whole needle there. You know what I mean? And it's kind of cringy, but you kind of get used to it. All right, it says, did your physical strength change a lot? Yes, my physical strength changed so much, yo. Like, I got so strong. Like, I'm not even lying to y'all. I feel like, bro, I feel like I can pick up this table and it's cemented to the freaking concrete. It's cemented to the concrete and I feel like I can pick it up. So like, I feel like mentally, you get stronger mentally, right? And you get also stronger physically. All right, this is social. I'm going into social transitions and lifestyle, all right? First question, how did you learn to style your hair and clothes? All right, so when I transitioned, I had dreadlocks in my head. And I always styled my dreadlocks, so it was always the same. My clothes, like I said, I transitioned from being a stud, so I was always wearing masculine clothes, so that it really wasn't a problem. It wasn't hard. I was already in the mindset of what of who I am, so it wasn't hard to. I already had the clothes. I already had the. Next question. What was it like changing your legal documents? What I would say, you guys, changing your legal documents is kind of tedious and it's a long process, but I'm so grateful that I had help. I had help from my family, my mother to be exact. I had help from her and we did the whole process. The whole process took like maybe 2 to 3 months. Went into court, did the name change, everything, bro. And when I'm telling y'all that this was my name before birth, I mean that God already gave this name to me before I even knew it or even thought of it. Because if I'm being honest, how I got my name is I heard a whisper in the wind. Literally a whisper in the wind. Just like the wind is blowing now, I literally heard a whisper in the wind and I got my, like, it said, Jose. And then that was it. Like, we was locked in. Next question. How do you navigate public restroom safety? So how I navigate public restroom safety is, what I do is I see people, they come in the bathroom. Some people be acting weird when you in the bathroom, right? Marlon! My! What up? I see you got your hair braided. Come here. But yeah, what I was saying is, how I navigate public safety is I just make sure there's nobody in the bathroom. Like, it's kind of odd, but I try to make sure there's nobody in the bathroom because a lot of people be weird, you know, and I just make sure it's just regular. Like I close my bathroom stall and I just get going, you know. Make sure you guys, if you don't know how to use the bathroom as a trans man, make sure you guys go and look at some videos, Google some videos, search some videos, all right, because they out there. Next question, did your hobbies or interests change after transitioning? I would say no. From the core part of me, genuinely me, nothing has changed. I would say the amount of energy I put towards it has changed. I'm more like, it's hard for me to not be focused on one thing. Like, I could be just so in there. At first I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But no, if I want to do something, bro, I'll be locked in on that one thing. So that's probably my focus. Next question. What advice do you have for building safety? All right, the advice that I have for building safety is, you don't tell, like, I guess you could just let everybody assume, even if they assume it or not, right? You just let everybody assume. You don't tell nobody that you trans, because you don't know what somebody got in their mindset. You don't know, you know, people just have this negative thing to where, oh, somebody caught me talking to a trans. Oh, I gotta protect my pride. I gotta protect my ego. You know, so I would just say be stealth. Be in stealth mode all the time. Don't tell nobody you trans, but also be yourself. You feel me? Be yourself. All right. Now, this topic is relationships and dating. All right, as a trans. Relationship and dating as a trans man. It says, what is dating like as a trans man? To be honest, if I'm being completely honest, y'all, if I'm being completely honest, I don't date. I don't date. My last relationship was 2 years ago, right? And I don't date as a trans man. I don't date. Like, I literally don't date. I don't date. Most of my relationships were found at work. Like, and that's because the girl came up to me. I really don't put myself out there, if I'm being honest. I really just be chill. I be focused on my work. I never put myself out there to begin with. I was never that type of person. I was never interested in relationships. To be honest, I think I'm asexual. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even, like, sexual activity don't even turn me on for real. I really don't even care about it. All right, next question. Do you prefer dating men, women, or other trans people? I prefer dating women, 100% women. Next question. What is the best time to tell a date you are trans? You tell them before y'all even start talking. If you are interested in them, you tell them, hey, I'm trans, you know, I've been transitioning for this long, blah, blah, blah. Whatever details you want to tell them, you tell them that. And then if they fucks with you, they fucks with you. If they don't, they don't. But you have to be honest. You have to be 100% honest. When I say don't tell people you trans and be stealth, I mean strangers. But if it's somebody you're interested in, you tell them right off bat. I don't care, like, because at the end of the day, you gotta live with yourself. You feel me? Like, you have to live with yourself. It ain't about other people or how other people feel. No, 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 no. It's about you, okay? And what you want. If you see something and you want it, go fucking get it. Right? Next question. Bro, this is unstable, bro. I'm gonna keep it at 10, whatever. Next question. I'm sorry, y'all. The light keep going in and out. I got unstable lighting. Whatever. I'm outside with it. But anyway, next question. How has your sexuality or preference evolved? I'm not gonna answer that one. I don't even know what they talk about. Next question. How do you handle romance and intimacy? So, when I was in a relationship, my last relationship, I handled romance. I'm very like romantic as fuck. I'm a Leo. Shout out Leo. My birthday coming up. My birthday in 5 days. But I'm a Leo, so I'm very like romantic type. You know, I'm very romantic. I don't think transitioning has changed anything for me to be romantic. I just feel like it allowed me to play the part, if that makes sense. And intimacy is private, and I handle intimacy with my partner. I handle it in a way of asking them questions and reassuring them, and, you know, communicate. Next question. This is for mental health and misconceptions. What is the biggest misconception about trans men? That's a good question. The biggest misconception about trans men. I don't know. Okay, the biggest misconception about trans men is that we just want to be like, we're like, the biggest misconception about trans men is that they are like the next level of a stud. Like, no, they ain't the next level of a stud. They ain't the next level of a dyke. They are trans men. They are men. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest misconception. That we just the next level of a dyke or the next level of a stud. No. Next question. How do you handle gender dysphoria or on bad days? So I handle gender dysphoria by I can't tell. I want to tell y'all, but I can't tell y'all. But okay, I'll tell y'all. I handle gender dysphoria by just thinking about my dick. I think about my dick, and that's how it's all handled. Okay? Next. What does gender euphoria feel like for you? So euphoria and dysphoria, those are two different things. Dysphoria is when you don't feel confident or you don't feel good about yourself because of your gender, and you feel like you're missing a part or something. Gender euphoria feel like you're right in that spot, you're right in that place where you always wanted to be. You're taking it in, you feel all of it. So my gender euphoria days, like today, it says it feels good, like it feels all powerful, it feels meant to be, it feels relaxed, it feels confident, it feels I don't know, it just feels good. Yeah, I can't explain it. I would say it just feels, yeah, it's like confidence, basically, if I'm being honest. Thank you, Marlon, thank you. But next question. How do you deal with, it says, how do you deal with, oh my gosh, y'all. How do you deal with online transphobia or hate? To be honest, thank God, I've never had to deal with this. I've never seen nobody hate on me being trans, or I've seen I've seen people I went to high school be like, I've seen people I went to high school after I got out of high school, after I transitioned, on as my Facebook friend. And you a stud. So this girl is a stud. She was a friend of mine in high school, but after we got out of high school, you know, we just basically disconnected. And so I seen her on Facebook. She did post some transphobia hate. Like, she did. She was like, I forgot what she said, but it was just weird. So how I dealt with it, I just blocked her off of Facebook. That was the first like transphobia person that I ever came in contact with, and it was barely in contact because it was something that I was scrolling and I just read it. I happened to see it, so yeah, I just blocked it. I block it out of my life. Like, I don't have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? This is my world. This is my world, just like it's your world. Whatever in your world, you don't have to deal with it if you don't want to. This is my world, so if I don't want to deal with that, I'm not dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? What would you tell this is the last question, you guys. If you guys made it this far, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. All right, police officer, calm down, you speeding. Anyway, this is the last question. So if you guys made it this far, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. You feel me? Like, maybe comment, maybe subscribe. You know, if you're dealing with some of these problems, or how did you deal with some of these problems? How did you handle some of these things? You know what I mean? Like, how did you handle going to the bathroom as a trans man? How do you navigate through life as a trans man, right? But the last question here is, what would you tell your pre-transition self? I would tell my pre-transition self that it's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel all emotions. Just because you're a man, right, does not mean that you don't feel. Does not mean that you don't hurt. Does not mean that you don't cry. Does not mean that you can't express yourself. That's what I would tell my pre-transition self, you guys. All right, y'all. Wrapping up this video because I know the wind is blowing crazy. I know everything is just crazy, dog. So if you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. All right, y'all, until next video, peace.